Hello there, this is Representative Muffy Davis with the Idaho State Legislative Update. We are in week 2 and things are moving, things are going ahead, busy. We have not yet voted on the House floor on any bills, but that will happen the beginning of next week as we have 3 bills already on the third reading calendar. It has been an interesting week, legendary pretty much here in the state of Idaho as on Wednesday, Representative John Green up from District 2 in northern Idaho was convicted of a felony in Texas court. And by Idaho state constitution, no member is allowed to fill a civil office if they have a felony violation. So on Thursday, we in the House had to vote to expel Representative Green from his seat, and that was a unanimous vote to vacate the seat in District 2. And what that will mean is that he is no longer representative, and the district up there will nominate 3 new members, Republican, because he was a Republican, to fill his seat, and the governor will choose one of those. And that will happen probably fairly fast since we are currently in session and they want to get someone back in that seat as soon as possible. So that is historic, has never happened in the Idaho State Legislature where we had to actually take a vote to expel or vacate a seat. So interesting things going on throughout the country this week. We have been hearing in this House Education Committee, they started hearing the educational standards. And next Monday, on Monday the 20th, Martin Luther King Day, they are going to be hearing the science standards. Now, if you're familiar with the past, these are the science standards that took about 3 years to get approved. And they're now back on the table, and hopefully we will be able to get them approved. But I would urge all of you and those of you that believe in science and believe that teaching these basic science standards are an important aspect for our kids in Idaho schools, please reach out to the House Education Committee and urge them to pass the science standards and vote to keep those in. So the good news is that this is an administrative rule. So even if one party, the House or the Senate, even if one rejects and the other approves it, it will go into effect. So hopefully, if we don't get them passed here in the House, they will be accepted and approved and reapproved in the Senate. The governor, through his Red Tape Reduction Act, has this last year cut about 75% of administrative rules and over different regulatory regulations here in the state. He has been very proud of that. He has additionally signed 2 new executive orders this week that will continue this kind of Red Tape Reduction Act, one that is requiring every agency to justify any rule that they choose to keep, and that every year 20% of agency rules will be reevaluated. So that is a priority of the governor's, and he is right on top of that. I also just wanted to remind you that the 2020 census is going to be starting. We're revving up and ramping up, and National Census Day is April 1st. But be aware, census is very important, and we need to make sure that everyone is counted. The census really helps us get a true count of what it is, and we rely on those federal dollars that we get from the numbers. And so it is imperative that we reach out and make sure that we get a good count. There's a great group working in Blaine County, I know, and hopefully in some of our other districts, and there's a lot of push to try and make sure that we here in Idaho make sure everyone is counted, and that is vital. So with that, I will sign off. We will hopefully have some more information. There was some controversial stuff in health and welfare this week, but it did get passed. Unfortunately, in the Senate, it didn't. So lots of different things going on, but we'll keep you posted. And don't forget, this Saturday is the Women's March happening in Boise. There's also one happening in Ketchum, and hopefully you can go out and support the Women's March, and we're recognizing the 100 years of the signing of the 19th Amendment. So women's suffrage and all of the great women that have made it possible for us to have the successes and be where we are today. So get out there, support those ladies, and hope to see you. If not out at the march, hope to see you next week. I'll make sure to give you another update and let you know how things are going here at the Idaho State Capitol. Thanks so much, and happy Martin Luther King Day too on Monday.